Oh, he was speaking Spanish. I don't know what to do.
What
don't do that to us, Blake. Hey, welcome to Bollox Talks and Tangents. It is an interesting episode because you and I had two different topics. Bad communication between us today.
Bad communication. I may have been drunk when I sent the text to you.
And I'm confident I was drunk when I sent it back.
Yeah, so
we got that going. We're going to see what happens in this show. So, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, just not the same.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
So we're just going to be throwing spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks this weekend. So we might drink a little more than we thought we were going to. So cheers.
Cheers, mate.
All right. So, and we do have a whiskey of the week. So the whiskey of the week is Suntory Whiskey Toki. All right, and it was gifted to us by the crew that's opening the new restaurant, the Lotus Restaurant.
The Lotus Restaurant. I'm excited. When's it opening?
It should be in the next 2 months. So,
Excellent.
So we got to get some building and some build out done. It'll be located at 56 Grove Street.
Okay.
Just an amazing talent. Barry's just a talented guy, Michelin trained chef.
All right.
Worked in a couple of different Michelin restaurants. Super excited. His
right
food
downtown, close to the Village Inn, Grove Street.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's food like you've never had before. It's that good.
That good.
But then again, the Irish aren't really known for their food.
We're not. If you can't boil it and have 9 sides of potatoes, we don't want to know.
Yeah.
The whiskey is good, though.
The whiskey is excellent. Thank you, Barry and Lauren, for the whiskey.
Delicious.
All right. Also, we got sponsors we have to thank. We have to thank 900 Degree Pizza and Pasta.
I ate at 900 Degree Pizza and Pasta this week. It was really good.
It's so good.
Really good. And my son loves the kick and the sauce. I got a son who loves spice. I don't love spice. We got no spice in Ireland, but the sauce at 900 Degree Pizza. We don't have flavor in Ireland. No, we don't. Yeah. But the sauce is so good. Came home, put the pizza down. The kids are like, ate the pizza, love the pizza. 900 Degree Pizza. It's incredible.
Yeah, and if it's kid approved, then we're good.
Kid approved.
Yeah, and my kids like it, so it's kid approved. All right, Abare, Kresge and Associates, best accountants in town.
Best.
They keep me out of trouble. Billy over there, I appreciate you for many, many years, and how much money he's saved me over the years. Because I have a couple different occupations.
Yeah, just a couple.
So it's a little bit challenging doing my taxes.
Labyrinthine and Byzantine are 2 words I've heard described your taxes.
Labyrinthine is 100%. Algernon would be very nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but they do such an amazing job over there, and just good people. They talk to you, they talk you through, know what's best for you, and help you out with setting up your business. They do life planning with you, a lot of different things over there, just not just taxes.
Yeah, it's incredible. Abare, Kresge, they're the best. They really are.
All right, the Beacon Listening Room and Gypsy Cab.
Okay, so this weekend, the Beacon Listening Room is also going to be playing host to the Sing Out Loud Festival.
Sing Out Loud, yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the music's going to be great. The Sing Out Loud Festival, can we give a props to that?
Oh, yeah.
Free festival, all over the town.
All over.
The Beacon is going to be... They're going to host nights of listening in there, music in there, and it's free. But look it, the food's amazing, service amazing.
Again,
people are amazing.
Great people. I mean, I can tell you last night, we were doing trivia there last night, and they texted and said, hey, do you have a couple extra microphones because of Sing Out Loud?
Yeah.
And they have so many different groups coming in and entertainment coming through there this weekend. Check out the Beacon Listening Room. It's just a good place to, it's good acoustics in there.
It really
they have a
is.
good system. And if you haven't had the Gypsy Chicken at Gypsy Cab Company or the salad dressing,
yeah,
so
they're killing it over there right now. Like
amazing.
Frank is killing it at that place.
They're amazing. Go over there, check them out. Make sure you're supporting them. All right, Meehan's. I'll let you talk about it because you got the right accent for this.
Meehan's Irish Pub. There isn't a better pub in town. It's 3 pubs in one. You can be upstairs at Johnny's Oyster Bar, have a drink upstairs, walk outside, best view in the town.
Yep.
You go downstairs, inside, there's something cozy about sitting inside.
Yeah.
You get the corner spot, the view of the world.
Put your back
outside.
back against the wall.
I love that back against the wall. Yeah.
Watch the people.
And then the third bar outside, you could be drinking with Hubble outside on a Friday evening or Saturday evening.
Kelly and Hubble will take care of you in the backyard.
It's a pub crawl in one bar. It's pure magic.
Yeah, and when it's raining, you might need that.
You might need that.
And it's supposed to be a little rainy this weekend.
Could be damp. Could be damp.
That's what the weather guy said on the morning show.
Yeah. Well, they said flash flooding, but I'm going to go with damp.
Damp. Yeah. Because no one likes to use the word moist.
Unless you're describing cake. Cake has to be moist.
Cake has to be moist.
Moist.
So, moist.
Love me some moist cake.
Moist. St. Augustine Pirate Museum.
Love it.
Over 800 artifacts.
Yeah.
So genuine, so real. They just do an incredible job. I don't know if you remember what was there before. Do you remember the old Christmas shop?
The old Christmas shop.
Yeah. I mean, just such a great improvement. Such a great improvement. I wasn't a hater on the Christmas shop, but the Indian out front with the cigar was a little awkward.
It was a bit awkward.
So, the St. Augustine Pirate Museum, Cindy and them, they do such an incredible job over there. They do so many good things in the downtown area.
It's just a cool place to go and hang out. Hey, this weekend's going to be wet. It's going to rain all weekend. If you're looking for something to do, Saturday afternoon, go to the Pirate Museum.
All right, and I can tell you right now, if you have a family in town or one of those things, the things you have to do is you have to go to the fort.
Got to go to the fort.
You got to go to the lighthouse.
Got to go to the lighthouse.
And you got to go to the Pirate Museum.
That's it. That's the trifecta.
Yeah. So you got to put them in there. And if you got time to look at a gator. So
I do like to look at the gators.
All right. So we had a couple of different things, but we got to talk about origins.
Word origins. Okay.
Word origins. Let's start the show with the word origins. I have a couple of them. One of them's a baseball reference.
Let's do that one last. It'll
lead right into it because I think you're going to enjoy some of my baseball stories about St. Augustine.
I am looking forward to those.
So you might not know, and then hopefully our listeners out there are like, "Holy shit!" That's the moment we want to have. We want to have a holy shit moment. All right. So what's your word origin?
Okay. So this one jumped up to me this week. I was actually teaching the Canterbury Tales to high school seniors.
Exciting.
Riveting stuff indeed.
Yeah.
And one of the guys in the Canterbury Tales is a reeve, R-E-E-V-E.
A reeve.
And a reeve in medieval England was a bailiff or the chief magistrate of the county in England.
Okay.
And counties in England are called shires.
Okay.
You've got Yorkshire, Worcestershire, Lancashire.
I love that sauce.
I do too.
Yeah.
And the term sheriff comes from the combination of the word shire and reeve. Shire reeve.
So that's how a sheriff became sheriff.
Yeah. Shire reeve, you were the bailiff or the chief magistrate of that
We're gonna have to
shire or county.
Sheriff Hardwick on that. Yeah. Whether or not he knows that whole statement. I'm
going to say no.
I'm going to say he probably doesn't. I'm going to say that probably was not in the job description.
Probably wasn't. No, I doubt he had to answer that question to become the sheriff.
So it's Shire Reeve.
Shire Reeve. Yeah.
It's a combination, and that's how it became the sheriff.
Yeah.
Because, I know the sheriff of Nottingham.
The Shire Reeve of Nottingham.
Shire Reeve of Nottingham.
Yeah.
So, that's...
It's kind of cool.
That is cool. That's cool. Shire Reeve. Yeah. And that's how the sheriff became sheriff.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So I shot the Shire Reeve.
I shot the Shire Reeve.
I did not shoot the deputy, though.
Deputy. Yeah. Thank you very much, That was beautiful.
Yeah. All right. One of these came from one of our listeners last week who wanted to find out the origin of the word balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. You get your balls to the wall.
Yeah. So, it's an album. It's a metal album and all that. And ironically,
German metal band.
Yeah, it is a German metal band.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall and balls out came from the exact same thing. And they both sound like we're talking about your gonads. We're not. Not at all.
Damn it.
Not at all. All right. I actually had to have Blake. I sent Blake a picture. So
of your gonad?
No.
Okay.
Of where this term comes from.
Yeah.
So it actually comes from the centrifugal governors that originally started with windmills. All right. So, and Blake's pulled it up. So you see these two balls right here, and then it's on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So when that started spinning in the windmill, these balls would go out, and they would push towards the wall.
Balls
to the wall, and that's balls out. And it started with windmills, and then the governors that they used on steam engines have the exact same thing, and the elevator
the same centrifugal design.
Have the same centrifugal governor to keep it in balance, to keep it from rocking. It has that balance. So when it's spinning at full force, it's either going balls out
Or balls to the wall.
Or balls to the wall when it's spinning at full force. Even the motors on our elevators at the Treasury building.
Yeah.
For the elevators, because the elevator motor room is on the roof.
Yeah.
Terrible design in 1927. I don't know why they did it. But even those have the centrifugal governors on it. So when we go in there, I was like, you hear the elevator come on, get away from the balls because they will hit you, and they're right at ball level.
Oh.
So the balls to the wall and balls out came from the centrifugal governors of a windmill, which later went to steam engines, which also went to a lot of different motors have these balls out situations.
That's fantastic.
So, well, thank you, Bobby, for, I don't know if Bobby's watching us today or not. Good question. But that was Bobby's the one who wanted me to look up balls to the wall, and I'm glad he did. He taught me something today.
This is serendipitous because Bobby asked you that question, and the next thing I want to talk about is the expression, Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. So it's a really popular phrase in England.
Okay.
Right? And it basically means, like, if Bob's your uncle, then everything is set up for you, everything is easy, it's going to be plain sailing, there you have it, right? And it comes from, it's a lovely story, 1887, the Prime Minister of England, who was Robert Cecil.
Okay.
Cecil in America. Robert Cecil, the Prime Minister.
Cecil, yeah.
And he appointed a fellow called Arthur Balfour as the Minister for Ireland.
Oh. And Bob was his uncle.
Yeah. Arthur Balfour was Robert Cecil's nephew.
Got it.
And so it was nepotism, and all the papers were like, well, obviously you can get that job if Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
And from that, it just segued into, popular parlance of plain sailing, easy going, Bob's your uncle.
So it kind of, and I'm going with the CCR song right now, Unfortunate Son. You know, where he says, I'm no senator's son.
Yeah.
In the song. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. The whole nepotism is, and there was always ways to buy your way out of going to the lottery and stuff like that. Even in the Civil War, you could pay someone else. You would pay a poor person to take your place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The games.
We might want to do that. We might want to do that one, like,
I think
weird draft rules.
Yeah. Ways around these things.
And around the world. Because, I mean, it's not just in the U.S.
Well, and one of the biggest reasons for just on that grade inflation in colleges and high schools was because of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because you had to maintain a certain grade point average in college. Because if you didn't, you'd be out.
Yeah, because you weren't supposed to be there. Yeah. You weren't supposed to be there.
Actually, I like that. That's a good idea for a show.
I think we should do that for a show. All right. So the last origin that I have, word origin or phrase I have, is a can of corn.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that term?
I have heard can of corn.
Okay, so a can of corn means something's easy.
Yeah.
Something's real easy to do. It's mostly used in baseball, which we're going to talk about.
Okay.
All right. But it came from groceries, when groceries used to have the shelves that kind of wobbled a little bit.
Yeah.
And they'd have, the cans. You didn't have a whole lot of shelving, a lot of space. But you would take the broomstick and you'd hit the shelf would wobble, and the can would fall. And then the grocer would catch it in his apron. So it was an easy catch.
A can of corn.
So if you've ever played baseball and they go, a can of corn, that's an easy pop fly, and that's all it is. It's basically catching the can of corn in your apron.
In your apron. Now, this may surprise you. I've never played baseball.
I'm shocked.
Shocking, right?
Shocked at that.
Grew up in Ireland, never played
I can't believe they don't have Little League in Ireland.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, so weird that I didn't play.
Yeah. So, but what's the game hurling?
Hurling.
Hurling's like one of the most violent games I've ever watched.
It's the fastest field sport in the world, and it is exceptionally violent. Yeah.
It's and I'm telling people after our show, Google hurling in Ireland, and it's like county by county, and they don't get paid, right?
No, it's an amateur sport. The biggest, the All Ireland hurling final, you'll have 83,000 people. It's actually the third biggest stadium in Europe, and the guys on the field are doing it for pride.
Yeah.
It's a pure amateur sport. You've got to be from the county to play for the county.
You have to be born in the county?
Oh, yeah. It's tribal shit.
What happens if you're born in this county and you marry somebody in another county?
Now, that all depends on how good of a hurler you are and who you know.
Oh, okay. And it's acceptable by the club.
It all depends on how good you are.
All right. And it's basically just a curled stick and a ball.
And a ball, yeah.
I mean, I don't understand the rules of it, but I mean, it's just so violent.
Yeah, it's violent and it's fast. Yeah, it's an extraordinary game.
Yeah, like people think hockey is a violent sport. It's nothing.
Nothing.
Sissies.
Nothing on this. The only mandated helmets about 15 years ago.
Oh, when I watched it, they didn't have helmets on.
Yeah.
So it's probably been that long ago.
And there's no pads or anything else. It's murder.
Yeah.
But proper murder.
It's murder for your county.
That's right.
Yeah. How many counties are there in Ireland?
32.
32. So it's a 32-team tournament.
Perfect system.
Yeah, it works out. Works out great.
Yeah.
That's why they separated so that the tournament plays out perfectly.
There you go.
They either had to go to 64 or 16, and they're like 32 is a good number.
Good.
Good number. All right, so baseball. All right, even though I sent you history of alcohol as our topic, baseball in St. Augustine, a lot of people don't understand that how far back baseball goes in St. Augustine.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about a gentleman by the name of Frank P. Thompson. You ever heard his name ever?
I have heard Frank P. Thompson's name. Yes.
Frank P. Thompson was a Negro baseball player.
Okay.
All right. He was the head waiter at the San Marco Hotel.
All right.
When Henry Flagler came here, he stayed at the San Marco Hotel before he built the Ponce.
Where was the San Marco Hotel?
It is exactly where the Renaissance is now.
All right.
So across from Ripley's, believe it or not, in that area where it expanded across where the parking garage was, where the visitor center.
Did it burn down?
It burnt down.
Okay.
And it was only there for 9 years.
Okay.
But Henry Flagler stayed there, and he met the head waiter, who happened to be a black gentleman by the name of Frank P. Thompson.
Okay.
All right. So when Henry opened the Ponce, when you open something new, you bring in the best employees. So he had Frank P. Thompson come over to the Ponce Hotel.
All right.
All right. So Frank P. Thompson, who was an excellent baseball player, Henry Flagler said, you know what? I have some other black gentlemen that are at my Argyle Hotel in New York. Let's bring them down and let's put together a team. And then when they opened the Alcazar and they opened the Casa Monica or the,
Cordova, yeah.
They had 3 teams.
And were they just hotel teams or were they all black baseball teams?
They were all workers at the hotels. They were porters, waiters, back of house, all of these things at the hotels. All right. But they were all excellent baseball players. All right. Henry Flagler goes to the best baseball player in the entire world at the time, Albert Spalding.
Okay.
And says, Albert, I need you to build me a baseball stadium. So he has Albert Spalding build a baseball stadium that holds almost 2,000 people. All right. Now think about this. This is in 1888.
Okay.
All right. That baseball stadium sat about where Rick's Mufflers was, where Saragossa and Almira. If you lived there, you probably you're probably on a baseball field.
So that was a baseball.
It was a baseball stadium, and on Sundays, these black gentlemen would play double headers. So the Alcazar would play the Ponce, or the Ponce would play the Cordova, or the Cordova would play. So they played double headers, and out of that, the Cuban Giants in New York were created. Frank P. Thompson was the creator of the first Negro baseball team, and it started in St. Augustine.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
I told you it'd blow your mind.
That is mind-blowing.
But that stadium sat pretty much right where Rick's Muffler's home plate is pretty much where it was at. And
so what happened to the stadium?
It was there up until like the early 1915, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So
about the time Henry passed. So it was there because it was seasonal.
Yeah.
And the thing is the term tourist. We talk about word origins.
Yeah.
All right. So the term tourist is actually when you went on vacation at that time, you went on tour.
You went on tour, and wealthy Americans going to Europe went on the grand
tour. Exactly. So, and you, if you stayed at the Ponce, you actually paid for 3 months, whether you were there or not. So, and the equivalent to that 3 months would be around $250,000 today. But all the food was covered. All the entertainment was covered.
Fair enough.
The person who turned on the lights for you was covered. So, yeah. Clean everything. Everything was covered. So, but that's when you went on tour, and that's where the term tourist comes from, because you would go for 3 months and you went on tour, like you hear of bands going on tour.
Yeah. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, give me another baseball. Oh, can I give you a baseball story?
Okay, yeah, give me a baseball story.
Okay, so everybody in America now, or lots of people in America, has their English Premier League team.
Yes.
Right? You know, they got their Liverpool, the Man City, the Man United, right? Well, Chelsea, whatever.
He's a Chelsea guy.
Chelsea guy, Graham Potter. New manager today from Brighton. You got a good one. Okay? But my team in England is Derby County.
Derby.
So you got the English Premier League here. Mm-hmm. Championship. We're in League One.
Okay.
We're fucking terrible.
You're not even good in League One.
No. And we're terrible.
You're getting regulated out of League One.
Probably.
Okay.
But Derby's one of the original founders of the English Football League in 1888, I think, funnily enough. And they originally played at the baseball ground. And the baseball ground is in Derby, which is in the Midlands of England.
Okay.
And there was an American businessman who tried to bring baseball.
They didn't understand it.
Didn't understand it, didn't get it. He tried to make a go of it. Mm-hmm. It collapsed massively. And he had this stadium half built. The land was there.
But it's still called the baseball ground.
Collapsed. And the soccer team came in. And they played at the baseball ground up until, I'm going to say 96 or 97. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They played that long there.
When I was a kid, when I was 11, I went to see Derby play Chelsea at the baseball ground in 1980. And Derby beat Chelsea 3-2.
When was the last time Derby was in the Premier League?
We were in the Premier League in 2011.
2011. So it's been within the last decade. Yeah. So they're not getting in. And by the way, in case people like baseball fans and football fans out there, in the Premier League, if you're in the lower portion of it, you can get regulated.
If you're in the bottom three, you get relegated.
Relegated, and you're out. You're out of the league, and you have to earn your way back.
By the way, if you want to see this explained,
can you imagine the Yankees?
Out. The best explanation of relegation and promotion is the Ryan Reynolds bought the Welsh soccer team, Wrexham.
Okay.
Right? This actor bought a 5th tier team in Wales. And on Hulu right now, I'm not joking, it is compulsive watching. It's a show called Welcome to Wrexham. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, bought this really shitty team.
Does he have a tequila that he made $1 bazillion?
He does, yeah. But Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they bought Wrexham. And the first couple of episodes, they're basically explaining to you what all this stuff is. But it is compulsive television. It's as good as anything on television right now.
Not as good as Bollox, Stocks, and Tangents.
Well, it's as good as.
Yeah. So,
all right, baseball story. Give me a
baseball story. All right, so there's a lot of different hidden rules in baseball and unwritten rules of baseball.
Okay.
And the rules of baseball are already confusing for someone who's like you trying to explain it to your mates in Ireland. I'm sure it's very confusing. So have you ever been to a professional baseball game?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I used to drive up. I used to live in the Panhandle of Florida, and I became a Braves fan.
Okay.
Because when I moved here, they were the worst team in baseball. And Derby County, when I moved to America, were basically the worst team in English soccer.
You had that going.
So I picked them. And then within the next year, they made their first World Series, lost to the Twins. And then they played against the Blue Jays, lost again.
Yeah.
But so it was a great time to be a Braves fan.
They weren't good against dome teams.
They were not.
Teams with domes.
Teams in the domes.
Yeah, they weren't good with dome teams.
But I went to see a bunch of games at the old Fulton County Stadium. I used to drive up on a Sunday morning.
It was just
like a 5-hour drive.
Stadium.
It was a shit stadium.
If you were in the upper deck, literally, if you lost your balance, you're going to die.
You died. Yeah.
It was so straight up and down, you were going to die.
Yeah. But I probably saw 20 games over a couple of years. I used to drive up. I saw Greg Maddox take a no-hitter he took a perfect game into the 6th against the Astros. And Jeff Bagwell hit a home run off him. And it was the only hit that Maddox gave up.
Yeah.
So they won 4-1. One hit he gave up. It's a home run. And the game lasted, I think, an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah.
Because Maddox worked fast. Yeah. It's fun. It's a great time to watch baseball.
All right. And I saw the game. And a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about is like the brawls and why the brawls start in baseball.
Okay.
Why the fights start.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Atlanta Braves, I saw the game. I was at the game where Claudel Washington and Mario Soto got in the big brawl. I mean, it was one of the biggest fights out there in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And I was at that game, and Claudel had showed him up on a home run like the previous time.
Right.
All right. The previous at bat, and Mario stuck it in his ear.
Right, unwritten rules of baseball, which is
rules: don't show up the pitcher. Right. So the unwritten rule is you just don't show up the pitcher, and it used to be way worse than what it is now. Like now, everybody bat flips and they do all this stuff.
Yeah, and they do the slow running.
As an old school dude, everybody gets hit. Everybody gets hit in my world.
I gotta be honest. One of the things I loved about baseball was completely different sport than Gaelic football or hurling, which I grew up with. But the unwritten rules were very similar. If you did something like that, showing somebody up, expect to get hit.
You're going to get hit,
right?
And I'll tell you this: like,
I'm a fan of that.
As a coach, there's a universal signal that you do from the dugout, and everybody can see it, and everyone. I mean, they're more sly about it now because there's so many different cameras.
Yeah.
But I mean, I coached baseball. You know, that's why I came to St. Augustine. That's how I got the job at Parks and Rec, is because I was an American Legion baseball coach, and my boss, his son, was about to start American Legion baseball.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with my skill level. It had everything to do with my ability to coach baseball. So the unwritten signal is you just take your thumb and you go like this.
That's it.
And that means
hit him.
Plunking.
Yeah.
Just plunking. This dude deserves to get hit, and that's the unwritten rule. So and one of the main reasons people get hit right now is showing up the pitcher.
Yeah.
After hitting a home run.
But there's something wonderful about unwritten rules like that, because the players then manage the game themselves. They officiate the game themselves, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rugby has similar stuff. In rugby, nobody's allowed to talk back to the referee.
Yeah.
So there's no trash talk in rugby. The captain can speak to the referee.
Only the captain.
Only the captain.
Yeah.
And so the referee sometimes will pull the two captains over.
Yeah.
And the guys will stand there, huge men with their hands behind their backs, and go, well, yes, sir. And he'll go, no. And he'll explain why he's made a decision.
Yeah.
And nobody else can talk back. If you talk back to the ref, 10 minutes out of the game, your team plays down a man for 10 minutes. And so it's the hardest, toughest game in the world, and there's no trash talk.
Well, there's no trash talk to the referee.
To the referee. But
to
even
each other there is, right?
In the game as well. The trash talk is kind of frowned upon, because again, it's like it's meant to be a hard man's game. Like if you're going to run your mouth,
take it.
Someone's going to hit you.
Yeah, you just got to take it. And that's the beauty of baseball, and the baseball I grew up with. Like if you got hit with a pitch, the unwritten rule. Do you know the unwritten rule if you get hit with a pitch?
I don't.
If I get hit, the unwritten rule is I can't rub it. I can't touch it. It can be like it feels like my entire arm.
You just go take the base.
You take the base. Now, if he throws at you on purpose, then it's all about like you and what's about to happen with the pitcher.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that's another unwritten rule. And if your teammate sees you rub it, then you got to go to the kangaroo court. So you have any idea what a kangaroo court is?
I know what a kangaroo court is, but not in baseball. I don't know what that is. In baseball, it's self-governed court that a baseball team will put on themselves. So, like, if you do something stupid, like, you rub it and like, show weakness to the other team. Yeah.
If you come running in thinking it's 3 outs and someone catches you like you weren't paying attention, that's going to cost you something too.
Yeah.
So and it's different types of penalties. I mean, you might have to rake the pitcher's mound for a month if you do something stupid.
Yeah.
But there's an individual hierarchy in a kangaroo court in the clubhouse that every clubhouse has.
I like that.
So that's just an unwritten thing in baseball that like people don't really know. The kangaroo courts was a real deal. I don't know how much they do right now. They probably don't, because everyone's got phones and everyone's watching. Everybody's so sensitive too. Yeah. It's so sensitive.
So you talked about if you get plunked deliberately. I remember one of my earliest baseball memories here. So I love baseball. When I first came out, I worked in bars. Baseball's a great game to watch in bars, and I learned the game from watching and talking to people in the bars. Mm-hmm. But I remember Nolan Ryan plunking Robin Ventura.
Oh, Ventura, big mistake.
And Ventura charges the mound.
That's the most hits Ventura ever took in one game.
And Nolan Ryan just absolutely murdered him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't charge a dude as tough as Nolan Ryan. I have a great story. I was at Seminole, and I played during the steroid era. So I was at Seminole Community College. We're playing.
Clearly.
Yeah. Obviously, that's why I didn't make it. The only reason I didn't make it as a professional athlete is I didn't have enough skill.
Well, there you go.
I love these guys that I know were not better than me. And they're like, oh, well, I threw out my elbow. No, you didn't. You suck. So it's like the athlete. There's always an injury involved and stuff like
There's
that.
There's always a guy who goes, man, I could have.
I was 5'7" and couldn't hit it more than 200 feet. So that's why I didn't make it. My roommates played 13 years in the majors. So, I mean, and I started over him at the time, but he was taller, better looking, and
had skill
and had some power. But all right, so we're playing at University of Florida.
Okay.
All right, I'm playing third base. I'm hitting in the number 2 spot. This guy, there's a big lefty for Florida that's throwing all over, and he's just wild. He's not trying to hit people, but he's hit 3 people. He's hit 2 other people, and the guy in front of me, he hits in the back. His name was Chad Sims. Hits in the back of the helmet and cracks his helmet. This guy was throwing 95 miles an hour. I mean, these people that are throwing 100, I don't know if that's a real number compared to 95. It's like you can't see it. All right, and it cracks his helmet. I'm the next dude up. This guy's a big lefty. I hit left-handed. I hated.
Yeah, left on left is terrible.
I hated facing power lefties. Like, my biggest nightmare would have been, like, the big unit, Like
I think he was everybody's nightmare.
But, I mean, he would have been my biggest nightmare.
He was certainly a pigeon's biggest nightmare.
He shatters the guy's helmet right in front of me, and I'm the next guy up. Jesus. He leads me off with a curveball and hits me in the top of the foot. And, now, my team is completely chirping. Everybody's really aggravated about it. And the catcher, who's, 6'1", I'm 5'8" on a good day with cleats on. All right, I'm 5'8", so I'm nose to nose with the catcher, or I'm looking up at the catcher like this, and he's like, you're not fucking going anywhere. And I was like, yes, I am. I'm going to first base. That was a curveball. I'm happy to be out here. And I'm like, we're animated. Me and the catcher are having a pretty good laugh about what's going on. And out of the corner of my eye, my pitcher, who's totally juiced out of his mind, like horse steroids in his ass, totally juiced, like I have to shave his back. I mean, it's
on a daily basis.
It's just a horrible situation. And I can give his first name because he's probably not watching, but he is on my Facebook, so I got to be careful. So Tony does like a Superman jump and punches the pitcher for the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
And it's on. And there's no one my size to fight on this team. So the catcher's running out, and I look up and I see the second baseman, which is Arnold, was the coach at Florida Gators. So I go over and grab him because everybody on my team is like no neck.
And you got to fight.
You got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I go over and grab the second baseman. I was like, we're staying out of this because he was the closest guy to my size.
Yeah.
He's like, hell yeah, we're staying out of this. And absolutely getting pummeled. And so the fight breaks up. All right, I happen to be the third baseman. All right. So I'm playing third base, and all the fraternity boys are on the third base side. I don't know where they came up with this many peanut M&Ms, but they start pelting me with peanut M&Ms. It got so bad. Like, I'm looking down, and there's peanut M&Ms everywhere. I mean, they're hitting me. You think these guys should be playing on the team.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it'd hurt.
Their arms are good. You wouldn't think a peanut M&M would hurt, but they're pelting me, and it got so bad. And my coach, I was like, and coach called me killer. I was like, Coach, can I just go to the outfield? I was like, dude, they're killing me. And after an inning, I brought in like a handful of M&Ms. I was like, this is what's happening here, Coach. He's like, yeah, all right, killer, you got it. And he finally let me go to left field. But it was that was my last time playing against the University of Florida. I was a sophomore at University of Florida. Damn. All right, we got to say thank you to our sponsors.
We do.
All right, but so our sponsors out there, 900 Degree Pizza and Pasta, amazing food, great sauce.
Look, guys, if you have not been there, this is a local business right by St. Augustine High School. Get over there. The food is great. The people are great. You got to go there. 900 Degree Pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. It's off of Lewis Speedway, just past the high school in that little strip mall right there. Wonderful food. Go check them out. Support them. And all right, Abare, Kresge and Associates, best accountants in town, without a doubt. They'll take care of all your financial needs. From
anything you want.
Anything you got.
Anything.
They have decades of experience.
They do.
Dealing with just me.
They have decades of experience dealing with Troy for a month.
Yeah. 1 year's worth of taxes is worth decades of experience for him. All right. The Beacon Listening Room. This weekend, exciting weekend for the Beacon Listening Room.
Yeah. Sing Out Loud Festival. Look, the Beacon Listening Room is absolutely fantastic. The space is great. The staff is great. You got Gypsy Cab right across from you. Gypsy Cab, Gypsy Chicken. Mm-hmm. The food is impeccable. It's so good. You got to get there, guys. Got to get there.
Yeah, Frank and Kendra, we appreciate you guys so much. Just seriously, so happy you took over that space and made it. You know, it's nice to have that true St. Augustine feel when you're there.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is good. All right, Meehan's.
It's debatable. Like, it's right downtown.
Reggie, he's such a mean person.
Reggie, he's terrible.
He's such a mean person.
He's the worst person of all time. Reggie Maggs, by the way, if you're watching this.
He's the nicest Irishman I've ever met.
He's way nicer than I am. Oh. He's way nicer than 99.1 times of fucking Ireland.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Of the entire world. But I can tell you this. You know, they have a wonderful staff there. 3 different choices. If you don't like one bar, there's 2 other to choose from.
Yeah, and the food is incredible. Oh. The food is absolutely incredible. Look,
have you had the shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie is great. Oh. Love the shepherd's pie. Love the burgers. Love everything about the bloody place.
They have a Meehan's meatloaf that's, I was like, okay, I don't know if there's an Irish meatloaf at all, but I can tell you right now, I crush that every time.
Absolutely. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Are you a meatloaf guy?
I am now.
You need to try it out. All right.
I have a great meatloaf story for another night. Actual meatloaf.
The singer meatloaf?
The singer. I got a great meatloaf story.
2 out of 3. Yeah. All right. St. Augustine Pirate Museum.
Brilliant.
Can't say enough about it. So authentic. Educational. You said you took your boys there.
I took the boys there. They had a great time. It's an incredible use of space as well. But it's right downtown. Look, I've lived in St. Augustine for 32 years.
Yes.
I make an effort to get downtown as much as I can. I bring the boys down on the bike. We walk in and out of town. There's an extraordinary lack of local people going downtown. It's weird. It's weird, right? Locals used to go downtown all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we need to reclaim the downtown part.
I moved there.
Yeah, you moved there.
You know why?
Why?
Because I drink too much. So
fair enough.
Dad, you realize I have my own car, so
I know this is only my second drink. Blake is my complete monitor. So thank you, Blake. I appreciate the love.
The Pirate Museum is fantastic. Go there, people, and then go over to Meehan's. Have some beers.
And we're going to give a plug to your largest beer of all time. That is from Old Coast.
Old Coast.
Yeah.
Old Coast Ales. I do spend a ridiculous amount of time at Old Coast. It has the blessing of being 400 yards from my house. Mm-hmm. I used to annoy my wife by telling people that they were building a brewery about 400 yards from my house, and now I spend a silly amount of time there. The beer is fantastic. I love Old Coast Ales.
And the beauty is, I love the chart that they have. They have a chalkboard chart where if I go there, you're not there, I can buy you.
You can buy me a
couple
beer.
of drinks.
Can I give a shout out to somebody from that chart?
Yes.
Patrick Canaan.
Oh my gosh. The last time I was in there, I was with Patrick.
Okay. So Patrick Canaan.
This is amazing.
Patrick Canaan. Never mind that he's a damn good lawyer. And I know this personally. But Patrick Canaan's on the school board. At least once a month, Patrick Canaan puts up between 30 and 50 beers for St. John's County teachers. So if you're a teacher in St. John's County and you walk into Old Coast Ales, there's always a free beer on the board for you, courtesy of Patrick Canaan. And that's why Patrick Canaan is the best person in St. Augustine.
That's my captain. Captain. So, trying to get Captain to sponsor the show.
Well, he should after what I just said.
Trying to get Captain to sponsor the show. So, and he used to sponsor my radio show years ago. So,
okay.
And that's my sailing buddy too.
So I met Patrick. I think I served Patrick a beer in 1990. Mm-hmm. Like the first summer I came here, he used to drink in the old Blarney Stone.
Yeah.
And I gave him a beer back then. So
yeah. I've known Captain a couple weeks.
Couple of weeks. Yeah.
Couple of weeks. He's a great guy. And he does an amazing job on the school district. Because he really does care. He cares about it.
He really cares.
Yeah.
Look at he's a gent, and I am damn glad that he's on the school board.
He's an amazing attorney too. Yeah. I can tell you this.
We won't go into that part.
He's an amazing attorney too. I've only been on the opposite side of him. All right. I got one more baseball story, and then we're going to shift over, and we'll talk about some origins of alcohol. If you want to talk about that,
college football.
We're going rivalries. Football. We're going rivalries. All right. So one more St. Augustine baseball story where I broke. Please. I broke an unwritten rule as a baseball player. And I did it more than once. I'm not going to lie. I did it more than once because I was a guy who bunted a lot. All right, so there's an unwritten rule. If someone is throwing a no-hitter past the 5th inning, you do not bunt to break up a no-hitter. It is taboo.
Taboo.
You do not do this.
And you've done it?
I've done it probably 5 or 6 times. But on this particular case, it was against a person I was not friends with.
Okay.
All right. I was at Seminole Community College. It's before I came to Flagler.
All right.
And he was playing at St. John's River Community College.
Okay.
And he was tearing us up. He's a dorky looking guy, black rim glasses, just the real dark black rim glasses that look like Clark Kent type glasses. Yeah. He looked like Clark Kent. So a right-hander guy had a knuckle curve that was just breaking from like 12 to 6 like that. All right. Later, I find out that person's name is Jeff Holland.
No way.
Jeff Holland, who was a baseball coach at St. Augustine High, and he was athletic director for many years.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job doing that. But he was pitching against us, and he was just crushing us. So in the 6th inning, 2 outs in the 6th inning.
No-hitter. He's got a no-hitter going.
He's got a no-hitter. He falls off real hard. I lay down a bunt on the third base line. Oh, God. All right? I lay down a bunt on third. I break up his no-hitter.
Yeah.
All right. I'm standing on first. I'm feeling pretty good. I think I steal second the next go around. He's fuming. I come back up in the 8th. He's still up. I think the score was still low scoring. Our guy was doing a good job too on the mound.
So you come back up in the 8th.
I come back
He's
up
still
in the
on
8th.
the mound.
He's still on the mound. I know I'm about to get plunked.
And you deserve to get plunked.
I 100% deserve to get plunked. I didn't rub it, and he hit me dead square in the back, like dead center, like the kind that, like, if you're watching baseball and you see one stick to the person and then it falls, those hurt.
Yeah.
You see one graze off or like bounce off or something like that. They sting, but they don't hurt. They don't last. When they stick, it's one of those that you're just like, oh, yeah, you just kind of, every breath leaves your body. But we didn't realize the interaction until I moved here to St. Augustine. I was coaching American Legion baseball in DeLand. I told you I got my job because of baseball here in St. Augustine. When I was the head coach of the American Legion baseball team, my pitching coach was Jeff Holland.
And then you figured it out?
We figured out. I was like, dude, did you play for St. John's, right? He's like, I was like, yeah, you. He didn't really know exactly who I was. And then when I told him the story, he's like, yeah, you. And Jeff doesn't cuss.
Yeah, you broke up a no-hitter.
He doesn't cuss. But he remembered that moment. So that was the moment me and Jeff really had our first interaction. And, now we're talking 3 decades later.
That's fantastic.
Where we're at with our careers.
Fantastic.
So but that's the beauty and the love of baseball.
Yeah.
And the stories of baseball that we have.
Okay, so when I moved to America, right, I've never seen football before.
Yes.
Right? But no, I've seen some NFL before. I don't understand college football at all.
Okay.
Right? I played college sports in Ireland.
Yes.
You might have 300 people and a dog watching you playing university sports in
Ireland. And the dog wandered in. He wasn't with anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
I come to America. I cannot wrap my head around college football. Can't wrap my head around it.
Thousands of people.
Because there's 95,000 people, 100,000 people, and people are ready to kill each other over the affinity and love of the game. To this day, it is still the strangest thing about America. And I love college football, but it's batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah. So is it worse than like the Premier League, like if Manchester's playing United? Is it worse than that?
Yeah, it is because, like, okay, I understand professional sports.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I get that. And Premier League is professional sports. Nobody's watching colleges or universities, right?
Any other country.
No.
In any other country.
Nobody's watching minor league baseball, right? And college football is kind of like minor league football. But it's tribal. And it's in your blood. Like, people make pilgrimage. There's people who haven't missed a college football game in 30 years, 40 years.
Here's the thing that I love about college football, which entertains me of our society and culture.
Yeah.
There are people that never go to that school.
No, that's the one I love.
That never go to that school. But you talk about the Florida Gators. He shows his tattoo. I was like, oh, when did you graduate?
Never went there.
No, I didn't go there.
I remember. Do you remember the choke at Doak? Do you remember the game?
No. I remember it 100%.
All right, good. So Florida, FSU,
33,
right?
Yeah.
FSU
was 94.
FSU scored, what, 28 points in the fourth quarter?
Yes, 1994.
Right? Spurrier, Bowden, right? Danny Werfel, Danny Cannell, Warwick Dunn, Fred Taylor. Like, holy fuck, those teams were loaded.
NFL teams.
So, I was watching that game with two brothers in the Panhandle of Florida. I was in Defuniak Springs. If you guys know where Defuniak Springs is, I was in a bar. I was in the Brass Rail in Defuniak Springs watching this with two brothers. One was an FSU fan, one was a Florida fan. Neither of them had gone to University of Florida or FSU. Mm-hmm. They got into one of the bloodiest, craziest fistfights at the end of that game.
And neither one of them went to the school.
Neither of them went to the fucking game. And the game ended in a tie.
That was a big choke. Oh, that was a big choke at Doak. That was a big choke.
Yeah, that was mental to me.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah. I mean, that's the year Warfel, they won their championship, right? Is that the same year?
He won? No, when did they win the championship? Did he win in 96?
I don't know. Warfel won one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Do you know I saw him play in high school?
Oh, did you?
Because I was living up there and somebody took me down to see him. He was at Fort Walton Beach High School on Choctawhatchee Road.
Okay.
And I went down to see this guy. I know fuck all about football, but I knew this guy was good. And he won a national championship, won a Heisman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's the irony of our relationship.
Okay.
All right. I've never been to a professional soccer game until the one you and I went to together.
Holy shit. That's brilliant.
And I was selling the team that we were trying to sell. And you were a great wingman that day. Because I had no idea because the guys were from Stoke. I was like, go, you did an amazing job. You're a great wingman. So, but that was the first and only, I think, professional. I think I went to one other professional soccer game in my life, and you were there with that first.
You know that team, Orlando City, won their first actual trophy last night.
Yeah,
they won the MLL Cup last night.
No, they won the U.S. Open.
The U.S.
Cup.
Open last night. Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, 3-0.
That hurts a little.
But it was against like third division, like Sacramento.
Sacramento, yeah, but the U.S. Open Cup, it's an open cup, open competition. Any professional or semi-professional can enter it. Yep. Sacramento had a great run.
That means they're worth more money now.
Yeah, I know.
that means technically I lost more money in this story. Okay. In case you don't know, that was the best and worst business deal I ever had in my life.
Yeah,
I lost more money in that deal just because of one vacation.
One fucking vacation.
Yeah. Phil decided to go to Brazil on vacation. Yeah. And I lost millions of dollars.
Yeah, yeah, but going back to college football here. So you mentioned a lot about tribalism. With that tribalism, there's also a lot of aggression. But not only at the big levels, but also at like small level schools like Stetson.
Oh, Blake's about to rat me out. Okay, so me and Blake decided to go down. Stetson has a football team again. They didn't have a football team for 50 years.
For a long time, yeah.
So they're playing, is it Armstrong State?
Yeah, I think it was.
They're playing Armstrong State. All right, and everybody's really getting into it. Me and Blake are kind of neutral. I mean, I grew up in DeLand, so I'm kind of rooting for Stetson, but we're sitting on the opposite side, so we're not really wearing green. We're not wearing the blue and yellow like the other team. And there's an injury that takes place, like it's probably a spearing type situation, like the person led with their helmet, but the kid's unconscious on the ground.
Yeah.
All right. And it probably wasn't the best call against Armstrong State. But I'm more concerned about the kid on the ground. And this guy is just screaming some stuff. And I was like, just shut the hell. I mean, I couldn't see where he's at. And I go, just shut the hell up. The kid's hurt on the ground. You're just acting like an asshole.
Yeah.
I can't see this dude. This dude stands up. He's like the mountain from Game of Thrones. Yeah. And I'm going, oh, shit. And I got Blake with me. So I can't, puss out at this point. I'm like, all right, I'm good. All right. And I stand up. And we're going back and forth. I was like, just And I'm thinking exit strategy. If I run around enough, this guy's going to have a heart attack. But me and this guy, and I'm literally arguing with this guy who's like, obviously he was an offensive lineman for this team like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And finally, all the moms start sticking up for me. I was like, oh, thank God. How big was that dude, Blake?
Yeah, he was big.
He was a giant. But here I am. I'm trying to be like, because I was genuinely concerned about the kid. And the guy was being an ass. I didn't see what this dude looked like, but as soon as you stood up, I was like, I can't handle this. And this one, I was like, I'm going to have to fight him because my kid's here.
So what's your favorite college football rivalry? What's the craziest one?
Well, I'm a Miami Hurricane guy. So I like the University of Miami.
Okay.
So the games against Florida State in the 80s and 90s were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Mike Davis is a Florida State guy. Both of us went to schools that don't have football teams. He went to Southern Florida. I went to Flagler.
Yeah.
By the way, still undefeated. Never lost a game.
Never lost a game.
Yeah. They have no rivals because they've never lost a game. All right. But we still have bets to this day. Every single time Miami and Florida State play. And that's the only game that I really care about.
And it
is
mattered.
that Florida's and I don't know if you know, but wide right too.
Oh, yeah.
Dan lives here in town.
He does.
So
Dan Murray, right?
I have a bet with Dan every single year.
Yeah. Oh.
So me and Dan have a bet every single year. Me and Mike have a bet every single year, and that's really the
Jerry
only
Thomas was wide right 1, right? The original wide right with Jerry Thomas, and Dan Murray was
wide right too.
Holy shitballs, wide right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's right when I first came here. I'm watching college football for the first time. People are like if you watch nothing else, watch this.
Miami, Florida State were the teams.
And I just, I knew, I don't get the game, but I know. I grew up watching sports, playing sports. I love sport. I love sports. I don't understand exactly what's happening, but I'm like, fuck, I know this matters.
There's nothing like the creation of drama that happens in sports.
There's nothing like it.
Because it's genuine and it's heartfelt.
Yeah.
I mean, even the story like Blake was telling about, with the young man, and the kid ended up being completely okay.
Yeah.
And everything else. And me and Blake got a good story out of it. But I'm telling you, there is so much love. And me and Blake, it's a bonding situation with us, like a father-son situation with us, and him and his mom are going to a Steelers game next weekend.
Yep.
So, I mean, so that has always been a part of our family.
Yeah.
And growing up as a baseball guy and a sports guy, it's always been a part of it.
For me, so I came to America in 1990, and I moved around here and there, but mainly around here in Florida. But I used to joke with any foreign guy I ever met in America, what's the first thing you always did? And everybody would say, we would drive around the outskirts of towns and find where somebody was playing soccer. Mm-hmm. And then you could get out of the car and you go play soccer, and you knew people.
Yeah.
And the connection was always through sports. Always through sports.
Yeah.
But if you grew up watching sport over in Ireland or England or somewhere like that, you came here, football made sense, baseball made sense. You didn't understand the rules, but it made sense.
Yeah.
The passion made sense. The tribalism made sense. The bonding of fans and of families made sense.
Yeah.
It took a while to understand what the game was about, but the other part made perfect sense.
Most of my greatest friendships
friendships
have come out of sports.
Yeah.
I have a group, I graduated with eight guys. I graduated high school with 8 seniors, which is very rare.
Yeah.
And 7 of us went on to play baseball in college, even more rare.
Yeah.
Even more rare. And to this day, all 8 of us will talk every week.
Yeah.
And and that's the power of sports, of where it is. And I mean, we're talking guys that I've been friends with since I was 5 years old.
Yeah. And that's the magic of it. And it doesn't matter what sport you play. It doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah.
It connects you in ways that it's impossible to explain.
You ever watch the TV show Band of Brothers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I get that whole military band. And that's what I have with my baseball guys.
Yeah. It's the same.
And me and, Paul Abatanozzi with the school district. So me and Paul have played sports together since I was at Flagler. Him and I were at Flagler together, and we've been friends ever since then. And we'll be friends till we die.
Yeah.
But that is the band that you always have with sports. Like, and I don't have to talk to him for a year.
Yeah.
We live in the same town. I might not talk to him for a year, but when I talk to him, it's like we didn't miss a day. Yeah. And that's how I'm sure you are with your mates.
Oh, always. Like, I was back in Ireland in 2019, and I was on the Market Square with one of those astonishing rare nights in Ireland. So the bar I grew up drinking in was this place called Canton Casey's. It's about 100 years older than America. It's on the Market Square. There's probably 4 or 5 times in the year where the weather is nice enough and all the crowd spills onto the square. I was there in 2019. I'm standing on the square and suddenly I realise, like, I'm talking to people and it's these guys I played rugby with from under 14. And we played, you know, all the way up. And suddenly we realise we've the entire back line except one guy who's missing. And it's just one of these magic moments. The one guy who's missing is dead. His brother was in the same back line and he's like, well, we're all here except that selfish asshole of my fucking brother who died. You know?
The nerve of him.
Like, but it was this lovely moment. We all hadn't been together in close to 40 years, or certainly 30 years. But it was lovely. Like, it was like the connection was so simple, so quick. I'd seen everybody because I go back every couple of years to Ireland, but we hadn't all been together in probably genuinely 30 years. And it was easy. It was just because that's what sports is.
I'm going to give you a weird story from the 90s.
Please.
All right. So, like, in the early 1990s, we didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have these things. I gotten word that my friend Tim, who I played at Seminole Community College with, had passed away with cancer.
Aye.
I got word that he had passed away. All right, so in this, you know, it kind of hit me hard. We were like 23, 24 years old when this has happened.
Yeah.
And I'm at a softball tournament probably a year and a half later, and Tim is there. And I go up to him, and I'm hugging him, and I was like, dude, I'm sorry I'm so emotional right now, but I mean, I cried over you. I heard you had died. And he goes, no. And he pulls up his shirt, and he did have a scar from here to here. And he didn't die. He survived it. He survived the cancer. It was like a stomach cancer or something like that. But he had survived it. But I can tell you right now, the emotion of that moment, like you're talking about your friend who was in the back line, the selfish bastard. But that emotion is part of that, being a part of a team, and that always being your brotherhood.
Always.
So, but Tim, he's still with us, by the way. He's still with us.
But I get it. Like, I get the college football thing fascinates me, baffles me, but I get it because it comes around that once a year and it's a thing. Like, it doesn't matter if you're in Oregon, like Oregon State, Civil War, Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl, like Michigan, Ohio State, like everybody has a rival.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we only got 2 minutes left, but I want to ask you one big thing, Derek.
Yeah.
So as an Irishman, how do you feel about Notre Dame using the nickname the Fighting Irish?
Okay, so Notre Dame. I honestly I don't know how I feel about them. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't care. They're about as
See,
Irish.
I don't like Notre Dame.
I don't. You know,
convicts. I'm one of the convicts.
You're a convict. Catholics against convicts. Yeah. Miami, Notre Dame. Yeah. I struggle with the connection to Ireland because, you know, Notre Dame's where Indiana.
Yep.
Yeah. I do. I struggle. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't care for it. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. It just seems stupid to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anytime they had anybody good, they won the Heisman. Because they voted for, you know.
What was your man that was Desmond Howard? No, he was Michigan.
He was Michigan. He was Michigan guy.
But yeah, I you know, come on.
Rocket Ishmael, I guess.
Rocket Ishmael.
Yeah. But I can tell you, with Notre Dame, I've always kind of had a dislike for Notre Dame. It's just one of those things because they were always on, and either you liked them or you hated them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of like the New York Yankees. You either like them or you hate them.
Yeah.
Or you love them or you hate them. There's no in between. There's no like.
Yeah.
And I think Notre Dame's the same way. But I can tell you this: the movie Rudy, it's a legitimate. It's a legitimate movie. All right, you know that's the first movie Vince Vaughn was in.
I did not know that.
You know the quarterback that made sure that Rudy got into the game. That was like a 4-year quarterback that was kind of a bust. Vince Vaughn played that character.
Holy shit!
That was his first big thing. All right, we got like 0 minutes, but
I want to talk. I want to talk about college football rivalries if we can again, and I want to talk about sports movies. And I want to talk about alcohol.
Sports movies. We got alcohol. Next week we're going to talk about history of alcohol. I'm going to research it because I failed miserably.
And we should come back to college football rivalries.
Yeah, we really should.
Yeah.
There's so much out there.
So much out there.
So much out there. All right. I want to say thank you guys. Appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging out with us with Bollox Talks and Tangents. Go out there, support our sponsors. Hit that share button for us.
Please.
And obviously download that 904 Now app.
And go to Sing Out Loud Festival this weekend. All kinds of great artists everywhere. Let's embrace this town.
Amazing talent. You might see a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer just getting their start.
Yeah.
So you just never know when that's going to happen. I mean, Jimmy Buffett, he was here.
Right here.
He started at Trey Wins.
They kicked him out.
Yeah, they kicked him out. They did kick him out. Read the Fruitcakes album. All right, but this is Bollox Talks and Tangents. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.